I was reminded of a dream. Okay. Okay. I don't own the rights to any of this music. This is self-healing collective, awesome frequency music. Awesome. So, I was reminded of a dream. I don't want to hold this. Yeah, this dream I had was like, oh shit. This dream I had was like years ago, like, I want to say 2004 maybe. Yeah, 2004. So, okay, what reminded me about this dream was looking at Neptune here in Pisces. And yes, I believe that we are going through a massive awakening to where people are waking up to their, whatever you want to call it, the third eye, Christ consciousness. That it's like we're going through a forced spiritual awakening, a forced third eye opening. And if you know anything about that, when you are someone that goes through doing something, either by substance or not, if you tap in and have your third eye opened and you haven't done the work for that level of spiritual connection and trust, right? There's things that happen. I don't know if you've ever looked at if just me, but I remember when I started, like, what's this third eye thing? What's that? You know, and I was looking at videos, and the videos that I saw mostly were, at the time, mostly was about people saying, don't do it. And this started happening to me and this, and I was like, damn. You know, like what, you know, and but there were good videos too, but like it was like a stark difference in how some people were just unbelievably fearful and just tell you don't do it, but wouldn't tell you why. Right? They would explain things like things started happening in spiritual in nature around them, you know, supernatural in nature, right, around them. Things supernatural in nature started happening around them. Second house. That was causing them to have to think and look at the things they've done, right? And it's so funny, because of course, like I said, me seeing this as your higher self and being at home and all this and that, right? Yeah. And also the higher octave of the moon, esoterically, is rules Cancer, esoterically. And oddly enough, too, not oddly enough, sorry. Pluto is also esoterically ruler of Pisces. That's a lot of water. Yeah, that's funny. all this heavy water going on, right? And then how the masculine and feminine energies kind of just, they're going in the arc. Oh, I'm just talking. But okay, so this dream though. Let me tell you about this dream. Okay, so in this dream, I think I had it in 2004, right? 2004. And it was during my first marriage. I was in California, and I was very much so not a Bible thumper, but you know, I was raised in a church, so there you go. Strong held beliefs. So in this dream, still, so, but anyhow, in this dream, it was my ex-husband and my daughter, our daughter, and myself. We were out shopping. It was a normal busy day, like something like Ontario Mills Mall or something like that. People was out and about doing their thing, and then the sky, clouds moved out the way. Some people were looking and paying attention. Others were not. They were just going about their business, right? And Jesus started hovering or floating down. And as soon as his foot touched the ground, and it don't matter what he looked like to me, I knew and understood that as Jesus, right? And as soon as his foot touched the ground, he was with everybody. Everybody had him with them. And he was interacting with everyone differently. He was hugging some people. He was helping some people, like get up or, you know, walk, open a door. Just like, could you imagine everybody going on in their daily lives with Jesus helping them with everything, whatever it would be? It was some people were going through that, and there was some people that was just being hugged, like that hug you needed. Some people were getting fucked up. I curse, yes. You know this. Parental advisory, I don't know, probably too late for that. Anyway, and this is for entertainment purposes only. I keep forgetting all that. I just talk, man. I just talk shit. Share what I see, right? But yeah, some people were getting fucked up, beat up, like slammed. There was some people like getting beat up. At the same time, there was some people being hugged. There's people in headlocks, people sniveling in corners, people like got Jesus like staring them down in their face, like up against the wall. It was crazy. I was like, oh my God. I was trying to understand the dream, and back then, you know, I was baby Christian. So a part of me, I was very happy to see Jesus come through the clouds like that. But when I started seeing how he was interacting with everybody differently, I was like, whoa, what the hell was I just shown? And then all these years later, I learned about Christ consciousness and how that's very much so tied into opening your third eye. And so very much so, it's, to me, it's like what's happening. And because too, like, notice it's in retrograde, internal. And like I remember I said, this was, if you want to take this to medical astrology, this is the part of the brain that is all about your, this is where it happened, Calvin, right? I forget what it's called. My mind went blank. Rules the functions of the body and so much more. Very much so. It's all about frequency. Duh. Frequency. That's a trip. Yeah, I just wanted to share that real quick. It's awesome. Well, depending on how you taking things up with your higher self or your Christ consciousness, right? Depending on how you holding up with that. That's kind of, like I said, that movie, Bird Box? Whoever did that was just pure genius. Pure genius. I like it though. Let's see what happens, right? Anywho, I can just continue to astrology babble like it says in the Bible. Day and night, and day after day, and night after night. I'm all messing it up. Uttereth speech and giveth knowledge. That. But really, I keep debating on doing individual signs, but like now, I wouldn't. It's very sensitive time right now to do individual signs. There's a lot going on that's sensitive. And I want to keep to the bright side of things, keep people encouraged. I don't want to add any more undue pressure. But yet at the same time, I want to share my thoughts, and I know the things I talk about add pressure to some. But I'm thinking about it. I tried it out on a few people, and it's as long as I don't go to. But how could you not? How could I not? I want to. I don't know. I might. But my mind is, that's like I don't know. My mind is stuck on this spiritual awakening journey that we're going through, that the whole battle that's happening is like, we got to get balanced. And our higher selves are like, what I got to do, what I got to show you. What do you have to go through physically on the outside that'll cause you to go within and meet me there, right? Oh, that reminds me of another dream I had. No, this wasn't my dream. This wasn't my dream. This was a guy that was saying his dream. And this guy was freaking beautiful. I can't remember. I remember I was a teenager though. He had a dream that he was tied to a chair with his feet and his arms, tied to a chair. And across from him, Jesus was in a chair, tied in a chair, right? And he looked down, he looked at Jesus like, of course you're gonna look at Jesus and be like, dude, hold up. You tied up? Wait a minute. And at least that's how I was taken as I was listening to the story. But dude said that he noticed when he wiggled his hand, Jesus wiggled his hand, and he was like, okay. And so when he wiggled his hand, Jesus wiggled his hand. On his side, ain't nothing, him wiggling his hand wasn't doing shit. But when he looked at Jesus while he was wiggling his hand, the chain broke. And so he kept, good Lord, as he kept watching Jesus as he would start to move his limbs so he can get out, Jesus was doing the same thing and busted the chains, right? And when dude stood up, Jesus stood up. Dude went to go take a step towards Jesus. And Jesus was right there in his face. I remember hearing that story when I was like young. I can't even remember how old I was. I was young though. I had to be like, I don't know. I was young, 12, 13, I don't know. Having this awakening to a higher consciousness, Christ consciousness awakening that's happening. Yeah, I believe it. With everything that's going on, shit. I'd rather believe it, wouldn't you? I like it. And I'm like just waiting for this to go forward, of course. And, a lot of people could be very gone with the drugs. For real. Or, like I said, that's a lot of water. A lot of drinking, a lot of alcohol. Another thing too, like how I say you got some people that are connected with their higher selves. They know. They with their higher selves, right? And you got people that are fighting against it, are being held back because they haven't learned the lessons yet. And you got people that are starting to get it. And, or not just starting to get it, being very clever at sharing what they're starting to no longer be afraid of speaking about. Right? You know, that is so crazy. Like, how are you gonna try to implement a very uneven, unequal control method? In trying to go into the Aquarian age that's all about freedom? You crazy. Universe ain't gonna stand for that. Freedom. Equality for everybody. The collective. And what makes anybody think that we're gonna move forward having some kind of block or restriction? You try to restrict an Aquarian and see how well that works when you try to restrict an Aquarian. You see how well that works out for you. Oh, that was funny. Alright, I was just wanted to share that dream. Damn, I didn't talk for 22 minutes. But I wanted to share that dream. Alright. Oh no, it was something else. You know how I'm thinking, if it cuts off, I'm going to share this part. If it cuts off, hope not. But I was also taking notice of Neptune here, right? This is the 9 of Cups. And before then, it was this is 10 of Cups, sorry. And before then, it was in a 9 of Cups, right? And here's the thing. Back then was probably when, let me see. Let me go back. Back here is more than likely, what is this, 2016? Where if you were already on your spiritual path or not, suddenly, for some reason, no matter what was going on, what am I doing? You were happy, no matter what was going on. Good, bad, the ugly, something on the inside of you kept you, your spirit, your inner man, your higher self, kept you happy. You probably had people like wondering like, why are you happy? You probably wondered. I know I did. I was going through some shit, and it was like I could not. I wanted to be mad and upset and couldn't for some reason. It was like I would be snapped out of it like quickly. And of course, looking at my chart at the time, I had Mercury here. in Aquarius. So it was like my mind was being guided to calmer waters. Anyway, it was like I was gonna be. I was just between that and this here, and I very much was on my spiritual path at an early time in my life before this too. Well, not so it was kind of like very familiar anyway. Very familiar. Like, why not? It makes sense. It makes sense. But then it didn't make sense because my surroundings was like, what the fuck is going on? Why? But it's almost like once I understood at that time for me in my life, which was what was going on for me, it was like at the moment, and it was around late 2016. Once I realized that holding that meditative state, how I felt, was the key. For me, it was a key, an individual key, right? That's when it seems like all kinds of things started coming at me for me not to be able to hold that frequency. Like to, break my concentration or thought or just something. But it seems like it did the opposite. And what made me do that was I had just been going through, at that time, I had gone through so much. I've been fighting so hard for so long, and then seems like everything all at once came at me. And I saw it, I saw what it can build up to, and I started to panic. And the only thing I could remember was feeling safe when I was in prayer, right? That feeling when you pray and you pray through. And you're feeling happy, loved. You can't, that moment where you can't deny that there is a divine presence with you, holding you, consoling you. You feel safe and protected. You feel love. That was the only thing that I could think of at the time. And so I went there. And I taught myself to hold that feeling, that moment. And I kid you not, it's like as soon as I started doing that, any and everything that could disturb my peace from holding that in any way started happening in the worst way. That's weird. That's weird. But anyway, like I was saying, this here, Neptune, it's still there, but oops, now it's in the where you going, girl? There. Oh, I'm all over the place now. Here. It's not the same time, but oh well. Yeah. Yeah, I'm bored. Sorry. And I was just thinking, that song, thinking out loud. Very interesting. Okay, I think I'm done. And it didn't cut off. That's cool. I can do longer videos. It was just cutting off like that because I had too much shit on it. Hmm. Cool beans. You like it. Y'all have a good night.